leave at 5:30 in the morning. 5:30? Or to see Josh. She's completely in. Settled is a different one. I haven't got the house cleaned out yet. Do that when I-
Good evening. I'm calling the Board of Mayor and Aldermen's November 18th meeting to order. We will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Alderman George, followed by invocation by Chaplain Barry Carr.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day, and I thank you for the beautiful sunset that you gave us this evening. Lord, I just thank you for everything that you've done for me, and Lord, I just ask your blessings for the mayor and aldermen and their families, Lord. At this time of Thanksgiving, may we all just pause and give you thanks for everything that you do for us every day that we don't even really think of, Lord. And I just give you praise and honor. I thank you for the opportunity to pray tonight for my community and for my city. And Lord, I just pause and pray for my brothers and sisters in the fire and police department. I just ask that your hands be upon them tonight and every night and keep them safe. And Lord, above all, I just thank you for your Son, Lord Jesus Christ, and the sacrifice that he gave us upon the cross. In this prayer I pray in his precious name. Amen.
Amen. May be seated.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman George and Chaplain Carr. Mr. Recorder, would you please take the roll call, please?
Mayor Montgomery,
Here.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Here.
Alderman Baker,
Present.
Alderman Cooper,
Here.
Alderman George,
Here.
Alderman Mays,
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Thank you. All 7 members are present. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we have no recognitions or presentations, so we'll move into citizen comment. Mayor?
Thank you. This is a portion of our meeting where we allow for citizens may come to the podium and speak on any item that may be on agenda or not on the agenda. We ask that you limit your comments to 5 minutes and that your comments be non-personal in nature. And so do we have anyone coming before to speak? As always, we ask that you to write your name on the roster there and your address. And again, we are happy to speak with you before the meeting or after the meeting, but we will not get into a back and forth at this time.
My name is Tim Sanders, and I live at 1213 Bloomingdale Pike. I want to start out with a question. What is the job of the BMA? And the short answer is government business. It has been proven time and time and time again that the BMA is not really good at business. They're good at governance. Businesses are good at business. And government can either be an asset to businesses and a hindrance to the citizens, or it can be an asset to the citizens. For the last few months, we have been talking about AEP. We have spoken about utility monopolies, the creation of exclusive utility monopolies. In specific, we've been talking about TVA, President Roosevelt, publicly traded companies, and then one end result of that has been I was blessed to be in a meeting where the holes were filled with data and details. And I really appreciate that fact. I heard terms like vertically integrated utilities. But what is the end result? The end result is that details or business being business. Government is to govern. I put forth that after everything is said and done, the details that I heard was we can't do that. We can't. I want to turn that around and say can. And the cans are always harder than the can'ts. One of the can'ts that I heard was that you have to change state law. Let's change it. Wow, did that sound easy? Let's change it. Someone has to step forward and be the leader. I have stated in many a time that Kingsport has fallen from the leadership position of the Tri-Cities to a follower. It is long past time to take the reins back onto leadership. Is change hard? Yes. Can it be done? Sure. But somebody has to finally decide that we are going to take this up, and it's not going to matter whether it's AEP, Bright Ridge, Holston Co-op, BVU, Southwest Virginia, whoever. If it benefits Kingsport, it has the potential to benefit the region. And one of the reasons that I think someone needs to take the reins and said, let's do it, is we can go back to a leadership position and make the changes. And if you can do that, it benefits everybody. I have heard many a time that Nashville thinks East Tennessee ends at Knoxville. There's 100 miles between Knoxville and us. And the reason being, Knoxville wants something changed, they change it. Kingsport wants something changed, well, we'll talk about it, we'll make some kind of committee, we'll call together some kind of group, and we'll discuss it, and nothing ever gets done. Change. Let's do it. If we don't, then there's no reason to still be considered Kingsport. We should just roll over, be a suburb of Johnson City, and change our name to the Appalachian Highlands. They are not going to change anything to benefit you, but what you may change to benefit will benefit them. So when you hear that we can't, let's turn it around and say, we can. And that is the direction that we need to go with these utilities. The most vulnerable utility we have is the power grid. And if anything happens to that, well, we'll all be having meetings in the dark. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else want to come and speak to us tonight? Seeing no one, I will thank you and turn it back over to you, Mr. City Manager.
All right, we have no appointments, so we'll move into the approval of minutes. First is from the work session on November 3rd, 2025, and the business meeting on November 4th, 2025. We would ask that you approve these minutes as submitted, please.
Okay, you have the minutes before you, November 3rd and November 4th. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
We have a motion for approval by Alderman Cooper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Minutes are approved, 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, your first item is consideration of a budget adjustment ordinance for various funds in fiscal '26, as you see within the summary, as well as in the attachment. There is approximately 8 different things that are occurring here. First is setting up funds for forthcoming work for window caulking at the dental clinic and as well as City Hall, closing out and transferring money from our resurfacing project, accepting a $25,000 grant, accepting a donation from the Friends of Allendale, setting funds up for Transit Europe grant, which you'll approve later in the agenda, adjustments made to the CDBG admin project, allocating funds for the otter exhibit, otter habitat, which you'll also have on your agenda later, and then setting up money for the aquatic center for forthcoming design. also another item that you will have later in the agenda. We ask that you approve this budget ordinance on first reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the various fund budgets for the year ending June 30th, 2026, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance passes 7-0. City Manager.
All right, moving to business matters requiring final adoption. First item is consideration of an ordinance to annex and adopt plan of services and assign zoning for the landfill access annexation. You held a public hearing for both annexation and zoning at your last meeting. We're asking you today to approve the zoning ordinance on final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to further amend the zoning code text and map to rezone property located along Landfill Access Road from County R1 Low Density Single Family Residential District and County M1 Light Manufacturing District to M2 General Manufacturing District in the 11th Civil District of Sullivan County to fix a penalty for the violation of this ordinance and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Recorder, please call the roll vote.
Alderman Baker. Aye. Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget adjustment ordinance for various funds for fiscal '26. We'd ask that you approve the budget ordinance on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the various fund budgets for the year ending June 30th, 2026, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the budget ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker. Aye. Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance is approved 7-0. City Manager.
All right, now moving on to other business. First item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the purchase of window security film for portions of the Civic Auditorium and Dobbins-Bennett Science and Technology Center utilizing the TIPS contract 230-10401 with Tennessee Window Film. This is an item that comes to us from the Board of Education. You'll notice as you move down to the last paragraph in the executive summary, security grant of over $75,000 will contribute the overwhelming majority of the funds for this. We'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the purchase, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of window security film for portions of the Civic Auditorium and Dobbins-Bennett Science and Technology Center from Tennessee Window Films utilizing TIPS contract 230-10401.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2026 Ford F-350 flatbed pickup truck for Dobbins-Bennett Fire Management Services Program from Allen J. Fleet. Sales utilizing Tennessee State Contract 88753. This will be part of the programming for the Dobbins-Bennett Fire Training Class. This has been a program and a class that has been recognized across the state. It's been very successful. This comes to us from the Board of Education. It is in addition to the fleet. Schools have provided necessary funding for this purchase. We'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the purchase, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A
A resolution authorizing the purchase of one 2026 Ford F-350 Crew Cab Flatbed Pickup Truck for use by the Dobbins-Bennett High School Fire Management Services Program from Allen J. Fleet Sales utilizing Tennessee Statewide Contract 88753.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign all documents necessary to enter into a materials agreement with Landstar LLC related to the Airport Parkway residential development. This is an agreement in the amount of a little over $371,000. This is for 112 lots, and we ask that you approve the resolution authorizing us to move forward with this agreement, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a materials agreement with Landstar LLC related to the Airport Parkway residential development and all other documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips, or second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion?
I'll abstain from this vote.
Okay.
I think it would be good just for the public audience we have the material here, and we discussed it yesterday, but basically it's for fire protection, hydrants, water, sewer.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
We're putting in those utilities in order to have uniformity and also to continue to look for ways to create new residential developments throughout the city. It's been a program that's been in place since probably 2008, 2009, somewhere in that time frame, and models many that are already in existence across the state.
Yep, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. And one abstention. So the resolution passes 6-0-1. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to award the Bays Mountain Otter Habitat Project to Burwell Construction. You see the amount there of $2.4 million with a rock allowance of $150 per cubic yard. Total project cost of over $2.6 million. There'll be a pre-construction meeting coming up which will further define the timeline for this, but you see within your packet a rendering of the what the new habitat will look like, something that's a long time in the making. Greatly appreciate the work that staff has done, private donations that have come in for this, as well as the grant that we received last year, all of which is aiding towards the construction of this. We'll have more information as we move through this project, but would ask now that you move forward with awarding the bid to Burwell Construction.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution awarding the bid for the Bays Mountain Otter Habitat Project to Burwell Construction Company and authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement for the same and all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
This is super, super cool. We've worked a really long time. The staff was wonderful on this, and it is really going to be a wonderful exhibit. It's, a lot of, they really looked at a lot of different exhibits, the good and the bad, and put together a plan. We had wonderful people participate. I am super excited about this.
It's about time.
I know. It's taken a long time to get this. I felt that way too. But with it got delayed because of the grant money, which obviously is so worth it to be able to have the quality of exhibit that we're going to have. And this will be the first great exhibit in a whole future of other wonderful exhibits. So
Okay.
this will be so exciting.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Comment?
And the Fox Inn Playground up there opens too, so
Is
that'll
the grand openings this week?
Yep. So a lot of good things happening up there.
It is. Everybody should go visit Bays Mountain.
Okay. Okay. All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution approving a financial contribution, if needed, to the Industrial Development Board of the City of Kingsport relative to Dobbins Taylor Warehouse redevelopment and improvements. I'm going to ask Stephen Bauer, our Economic Development Director, who has been shepherding this project for nearly a year, come to the podium and give a presentation about not only this action item, but the one that follows, which is the tax increment financing. Stephen?
Make sure this is set up. Thank you. I'm just going to walk through this, go over the site a little bit, the financials of the project, and then the actions we have before you tonight. So the project site, everyone should be familiar by now with Dobbins Taylor Warehouse. It is on the corner of Press Street and Clinchfield, across from the Chamber. The Kingsport Economic Development Board has a 25-year lease on that property with an option to purchase. Currently, our annual expenses on that property total about $130,000. That's rent, insurance, taxes. It does not include the maintenance costs, which have continued to gone up over the couple of years that we have had it. Over the past couple of years, we signed the lease June 2023. The number one priority has been marketing that site. So we've done targeted social media ads. We've ran that on all our social platforms. It has a listing on the website. We did receive 2 proposals during that time that required an ownership share. That is not an option with the current structure that we have. And the proposed project is a 60-room boutique hotel that includes a restaurant, bar, and event venue. Next, the financials of the project. Kingsport Economic Development Board went down a path of issuing RFPs, requests for proposals for financing. Those proposals we did award to Home Trust Bank and Three Roots Capital. It is for 2 loans. The first loan, not to exceed $3 million. We expect to borrow 2.5. That money will be used for demolition, civil site work for the parking lot, and $1 million incentive to go back to the developer for the hotel portion. There will be a public parking lot included on the property, which we think is a need at that portion of downtown and will benefit everybody around it. Loan 2 is not to exceed the $6.25 million. KDB is expected to borrow the 5.5. Both loans are a 10-year term with a 25-year amortization at 4% interest. KDB will then loan the $5.5 million and act as the construction lender towards the developer. We will loan that back to him at 6.5% interest. And we have calculated that interest will cover KDB's lease payment due to the Taylor family. And then on loan 1, we have figured that the occupancy tax generated at that property will equal the yearly payments that we have for that loan. So on November 4th, KDB did unanimously approve all aspects of the project. As you can see, that includes loan 1 and 2. The sublease between the developer and KDB, the development agreement, the construction loan to the developer, demolition contract, and the design build for the parking lot. On the loans development agreement, we have protections in place, personal guarantees, and the development agreement. Under that, a default under one agreement is a default under all the agreements, so they are all interconnected. And then I think it's important to do some background on Kingsport Economic Development Board. Their legal name is the Industrial Development Board of the City of Kingsport. As an IDB, they do have powers, and I won't read all of these, but to acquire, lease, and improve projects, have power to enter loan agreements. The term projects includes a list of things, but hotel is included in that definition. And then they have power to issue bonds, notes, or otherwise borrow funds. If you think of Maple Oaks or Stonecrest, which we've done recently, those are projects that have come through the IDB. And then a city can make contributions to an IDB for economic development purposes, which is what we have in front of you today. So some of the past projects, these go back, I think it goes back further, but I was running out of slides, so I went back to 2012. But as you can see, most recently we've had General Shell, which is the Brickyard property, as we've refinanced and restructured that loan. We do have Dobbins Taylor when we secured the lease, and then the dental clinic and Dry Creek, which is Kingsport Pavilion, are the most recent projects. So there is a tax increment financing request for you tonight. The project is located in the downtown redevelopment district, which makes it eligible for tax increment financing. As you can see there, the request is $1.3 million over a 25-year period with a 5% holdback. We have on the screen the existing taxes with all of the TIFs. The existing taxes are not abated, so those stay the same. And we actually retain that $14,145 in new taxes for the project. And then you can see once the TIF matures, the increase in property tax. Kingsport Housing and Redevelopment Authority did approve this October 27th, 2025. So some of the economic impact of this project, we know the building is currently vacant and represents the $130,000 annual loss of revenue. With any building, the longer it sits vacant, the worse off they tend to get and the increase in maintenance. It does represent approximately a $10 million investment downtown, 40 temporary construction jobs, 50 permanent jobs, and then we will see a new property tax revenue as well as new sales tax revenue. And then a big piece is the estimated occupancy tax of $160,000 a year. And then of course the indirect impact that we will see having a boutique hotel downtown. And it's not only feet in the street of having 60 rooms. I think we have a chance to develop a property that cannot be replicated anywhere else. So the action items, there is a contribution agreement for loan 1 and 2. This allows KDB, the Economic Development Board, to secure the loans for the project, and then the tax increment financing piece. If approved tonight, it will then go to County Commission on Thursday for their approval as well. So we did include the rendering. This is not a final, but this is very close to what this project will look when it's finished. I'll just leave that one up there, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Oh, Mr. Attorney, please publish. Just stay where you are for now, okay?
A resolution approving a financial contribution, if needed, to the Industrial Development Board of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, relative to an economic development project at 435 Press Street, authorizing such agreements as may be needed to effectuate the purpose of this resolution, expressing the intent of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to establish one or more project accounts and an ordinance appropriating funds to effectuate the purpose of this resolution, if needed, and to fix the effective date of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper and Alderman Phillips. Any discussion now? Anybody want to ask Stephen a question?
Covered everything 3 times over.
Okay.
Actually, more than 3 times over.
I know, I would just, to reiterate what Colette was saying, I was sitting here thinking about that. I was like, I think I've seen this presentation 3 or 4 times now, and I hope people at home don't think that we haven't discussed this and flushed this out. We have discussed this ad nauseum at this point, and I think that's probably, if you don't hear a lot of comments, that's the reason probably why. We said a lot last night too. It's a great project and exciting for Kingsport.
Yeah, I'll just say, and we said it last night, and we've said it over and over, I just appreciate the work everybody's involved in this. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to this, I know, and a lot of people involved, and so just appreciate all the work that's been done with this, and staff, and KEDB, and Visit Kingsport, and everybody else that's been involved in this.
I'll echo that, and I had some questions, I guess, during the presentation phase the last 3 or 4 weeks. You know, you look at this, there's no economic development project that's risk-free. You know, if you think you're gonna have that, then bring us one, that's one we'll vote on very quickly. A couple of questions I do have. Chris, what is our exposure as far as risk from the city's perspective?
Well, our exposure with this is obviously going to be, as Stephen described and as we've discussed, if there is a default on this, obviously the developer is responsible for this loan. You saw the interest rate that they'll be paying back. But I think we've set ourselves up with a personal guarantee within the agreements that provide us additional protection. Obviously, if the facility is not successful and we don't see the occupancy tax generated, then there would be a need to try to identify additional dollars, and staff has already begun looking at those things. But those are I think the two primary things. And as I stated last night, I applaud Joel Conkin, who's the attorney for KDB, for really going through and trying to mitigate the risk throughout this entire project, and with all the various documents that we've got that KDB approved earlier this month. I felt like Alderman May summed it up very well last night. Really, the risk lies within the developer. The developer has got to ensure himself that he can build this, which I know he has, but he's got to be able to build this. He's got to be able to market it, generate the occupancy, generate the revenue in order to pay back the debt that is part of this agreement.
Thanks. Second question, this comes right on the heels of a presentation about Meadowview. And I've had citizens ask, how would you answer citizens about, is this going to take business away from Meadowview and going to compound the issue we already have?
So when you look at Meadowview, the hotel side's doing real well. In fact, there's other hotels under construction and soon to be under construction within the Meadowview area. So there's a demand for rooms within the city of Kingsport, which we know, and market analysis has proven that out. When you look at the event space, I think it's important to know this is, while this does have a small event space associated with it, it is nothing in comparison to what you would find at Meadowview within the convention center. And as I stated yesterday, I think we have a responsibility where we can, and we've demonstrated that over the years with projects like the Farmers Market, renovations to Allendale, renovations to the Renaissance Center, to continue to expand that portfolio for our citizens. And that's proven to be very beneficial, and I think something that citizens and businesses like. They like the opportunity to be able to look at different things, and one size doesn't fit all, and the opportunities that might not exist at the Farmers Market or Allendale might be perfect for Meadowview and vice versa.
Yeah, we're doing this, I guess, with faith that Domtar is going to get their problem fixed. Smell gets fixed. Go ahead.
Yeah, we are, and I think that's something the Economic Development Board took into consideration from day one. For the last year and a half, Economic Development Board has heard a monthly presentation from Domtar officials about what they are doing, and they are well on their way to getting that anaerobic digester built. And all of the documentation and evidence they've presented to us for the last year would demonstrate that they are moving forward with that. In fact, I drove up there today to look at the construction, and work is being done, and things are progressing. And so we feel confident with what Domtar is telling us, and that we'll see some resolution soon.
So with what Alderman May said as far as a developer needing to make sure he performs, my wife and I last weekend invested and went up to his property in Williamsport. And if he can replicate that here, it'll be, as the picture shows, it's going to be a great asset to Kingsport. Very good experience. So, yeah. So, only questions I've got. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I just appreciate Alderman Baker's questions, and I'm sure all the board has heard the same questions from the citizens. But I think just to edify a little bit more, the Meadowview overlap, if you will, is really, we're talking about convention space is what we're having trouble with at Meadowview. And for various reasons, Meadowview convention space is priced out of market. And so I know the mayor's appointed, or plans to appoint a task force to address the convention space, which we're responsible for. But we've all seen the motel data, and look at the motel and hotel tax, and we can see that there is demand for that. It looks, numbers look really good. So it's easy to get the boutique motel project and Meadowview confused. It's very easy to do that unless you're looking into it like we have been for the last few months, trying to answer those questions that you asked tonight. But the convention space is the problem at Meadowview, not the motel.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The resolution passes 7-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to amend the Downtown Kingsport Redevelopment District and approve tax increment financing for the Dobbins-Taylor redevelopment project. Stephen went over this as part of his presentation. You all are aware that downtown is a redevelopment district. We have had several other tax increment financing projects recently, and this is yet another one. The details which were described in the presentation. I will also state that the developer is the one who is responsible for ensuring that this TIF, if you will, meets all of the requirements and stated in terms of the value of the property, and then to ensure that it's repaid. So great tool that we continue to use and continue to have success with this. I'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the tax increment financing.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a tax increment financing amendment for the downtown Kingsport redevelopment district Dobbins-Taylor Warehouse project.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary to apply for and accept a 5307 Operations and Capital Grant from the Federal Transit Administration and the United States Department of Transportation for fiscal year 25-26. This is an agreement that basically funds the overwhelming majority of the operating capital for the Kingsport area transit. You see a little over $2 million there in total capital and operating. You have an item later that is also a TDOT amount of funding, which will bring you up to about $2.8 million total. Again, you see a very small portion of that total project amount, total operating capital amount for local. And so this is already included in our current budget. With that, we'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing us to enter into this agreement. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to apply for and receive a Section 5307 capital grant for transit vehicles from the United States Department of Transportation Federal Transit Administration.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Cooper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution approving the renewal of excess workers' compensation insurance policies from the Gray Insurance Company and Midwest Employers Casualty. You see there, this is a renewal of the current excess workers' comp insurance with no rate increase. We'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing us to renew this policy. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving the renewal of an agreement with the Gray Insurance Company and Midwest Employers Casualty Company through Assured Partners for excess workers' compensation insurance, and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to enter into an agreement with Thompson and Litton for professional services for renovations at the Kingsport Aquatic Center. We are getting to that point where it is time to start doing some significant maintenance to the Aquatic Center. We will begin work with Thompson and Litton to identify the various projects that need to be done, most notably the replastering of the pools. This is something that has got about a 10 to 12-year life. We're beginning to be at year 13, so we've definitely exceeded that life. We hope to be able to put this in play sometime in late Q1, Q2 of our fiscal year. We'll coordinate that with the YMCA, which is also planning to do some construction during that time. Obviously, this will be an item that you'll be seeing again as we move this through the project phase. But appreciate the work from Thompson and Litton, be able to move this forward and get this work done. Mayor would ask that you approve the resolution and enter into the agreement, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving an agreement for architectural services with Thompson and Litton Incorporated for refurbishment of various pools at the Kingsport Aquatic Center, and authorize the mayor to execute the agreement and any other documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Cook Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion?
Chris, is this just for replastering, or is it to look at renovations, look at the entire aquatic center?
Would you like to hear that from Michael, or would you, I mean, because he's making his way up here?
Be good. He looks good tonight, I'll say.
He looks dapper, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Of course, it delays the meeting.
It does delay it. He need to be a little quicker next time.
Thank you. So it is just for the pools. I mean, there's various aspects within the pools, whether it's drain covers, there's tiles around the pool that will be replaced, but it's all related to the actual pool. So
Replastering or?
yes, replastering. And our other facilities, I mean, you're primarily talking about your pump system. So we do have a study that's going to look at our pump system so we can better plan for capital projects. We're starting that engagement right now in the early part of next year. And the rest of the facilities in good shape as of right now.
Can you talk about the schedule when you hope to get the replastering done?
Absolutely. So it would be after the summer season. So it's in the fall. And so the summer seasons where we make our revenues kind of for the year, you got about a 70-day window to try to make as much revenue as you can. And so it will be after that season's over, and it will be completed before the collegiate meets, which are in the first part of every calendar year. And so there will be some local swim teams that will be affected by that, as well as our lap swimmers and so on and so forth. But that is the least invasive time to have that work done, and it will line up very well with the work the Y will be doing at the same time.
Thanks.
I know, Michael, excuse me, I know we talked last night about what can folks do while this is under construction, and I know you're working on a plan for that to come up with some alternate sites maybe.
We will work through that and see what we can do at this point. Our key is just to try to get this going, and then we'll kind of look at the impacts to see if there is something that we can do. But as the city manager talked about yesterday, this is work that you just have to do every so often with
Sure.
pools. And so sometimes there may not be a way to offset the disruption, but we will do everything that we can to offer an alternative if one is available.
Thank you.
I'll add, we've had multiple shutdowns since we've opened that have been planned shutdowns, and we coordinate that very closely with the Y. And that's just part of pool operations. Like you've got a pool at home, very similar. There's times you got to shut it down for cleaning, maintenance, various other things. We got to do the same. So it's not uncommon. We try to minimize it. Obviously, try to keep it out of the summer months when we're busiest, but staff does a good job of keeping an eye on that and trying to find the best time out of the year.
Thank you.
And this is just the one pool, right?
No, this would actually be for all the pools.
All the pools, okay.
So we will start, which would depend, our idea would be to try to get the inside open as soon as possible, but obviously we don't want to dictate all the requirements to the contractors. That will drive up the cost in doing so. And so we're going to do a cost evaluation to see kind of what makes sense, because, we're willing to pay a little more if we can get that community benefit quicker. But obviously there's going to be a value on that. But it would also be for the outside, and then we will also have an alternate, which would actually be to replaster the lazy river. And so that's been painted, and that's kind of been ongoing, something you have to maintain more often. And so we've also been out and looked at some lazy rivers that did have plaster and tile kind of at the top. And we're impressed with the product. We think it's a better product for the users. And so we're very excited, and hopefully we'll be able to award that when we get the bids back.
Okay.
Other than the pumps and the replastering, is there any other major systems that need to be evaluated?
Yes, so there the Ceresco, which is the mechanical systems, which primarily control the humidity and those types of things. That is something else, because we do want an assessment of all those systems. I've also learned that just getting into pools, things tend to go quicker than if they're not near pools. And so we are going to evaluate all that so we can better have a capital expenditure plan for that, and as well as other regional sales tax entities. So that's something we're actively working on.
Okay, good, thanks.
It is interesting that in a public meeting, you say you're willing to pay a little more. That's interesting. Any other comment?
Time for you to sit down.
Any other comment? Okay.
Good job, Michael.
All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 7-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution approving an agreement and execution of all necessary documents with the Tennessee Department of Transportation for reimbursement of annual operating expenses for fiscal 25-26. I mentioned this earlier. This is what we refer to as a UROP grant. This is TDOT and City of Kingsport funded. You see the total is a little over $794,000. It goes with the $2 million that comes in from federal and state dollars and makes up the budget for the Kingsport Area Transit Service. We'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing us to enter into this agreement with TDOT.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a reimbursement contract with the Tennessee Department of Transportation for the city's transit system operating expenditures for fiscal year 2025-2026, and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the contract.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes 7-0. City manager.
All right, we now move into the consent agenda. You have 6 items on the agenda. The 6th item was one that was added today. This is for work that is actually currently being done right behind us here on New Street, and particularly pertains to an easement needed by AEP for switching cabinets located on City Hall property. I will read through the 6 items on the agenda. If you'd like one pulled for more discussion, please let me know. But the first item is consideration of a resolution ratifying the mayor's signature and accepting funding from the Tennessee America 250 Community Support Grant. Second item is consideration of resolution authorizing the renewal of EMS Link software for school nutrition services and authorizing the mayor to execute all agreements pertaining to the renewal. Third item is consideration of resolution changing certain meeting dates and work sessions and business meetings of the board and mayor and aldermen for the upcoming year. Next item is consideration of resolution for amendment number 2 with the Tennessee Department of Transportation for resurfacing various roadways, project PIN 129800, authorizing the mayor to sign all applicable documents. Item 5 is consideration of resolution approving payment to Phil Hoskins for replacement of brick column and authorizing the execution of a release of all claims. And item 6 is consideration of resolution to approve right-of-way easement with Kingsport Power Company. Again, if there's one that the board would like pulled for further discussion, please let me know. If not, Mayor, we ask that you approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the 6 agenda items, consent agenda items. May I have a motion for approval?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept all items on the consent agenda.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Mr. Recorder, will you take the roll call vote?
Alderman Baker,
Aye to all items.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye to all.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye to all.
Alderman George,
Aye to all.
Alderman Mays,
Aye to all items.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye to all.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye to all. The consent agenda items are approved, 7-0. The city manager.
All right, we now move into communications. First and foremost, appreciate the support of this board for the project that we talked about earlier with the Dobbins-Taylor Warehouse. Alderman Phillips is right. We have been in communication and conversation regarding this project for nearly a year. Stephen has done an outstanding job shepherding that along with the Economic Development Board. I greatly appreciate the work that this board does. As you saw on the slide, part of Stephen's presentation, they are facilitating a tremendous amount of economic development within our city, which is necessary in order for us to keep moving forward. You guys demonstrated your desire for us to continue making aggressive moves within economic development when we created the strategic plan. And I appreciate you all having confidence in us to do our due diligence and present to you projects like what we did with the Dobbins-Taylor Warehouse, as that is a great example of how we can work on a public-private partnership to move this city forward. I'm excited to see the work to begin, which we anticipate will begin next month. So this will be a project that you're going to see a lot of activity on very, very soon. So again, appreciate the work that's been done by that, and appreciate the support of the board. Last, happy Thanksgiving. On behalf of the city staff, to the board, and to all the citizens in Kingsport, I just want to wish everybody a very safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Mayor, thank you. Alderman Mays.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. I would just like to really echo what City Manager McCart says. Craig, thank you for your leadership on the KEDB. Basically, and Joel Conkin for constructing an unbelievable mass of documents to mitigate risk. If I was an attorney, I know I'd be impressed, but I was impressed at the poundage of documents that was generated there, so thank you so much. And basically, y'all volunteer your time for the city of Kingsport, so thank you and KEDB members for making this deal happen, because basically we were stuck with the property, not a lot of hope of getting anything developed. And not to protract the meeting, but the city of Kingsport, and I apologize to the board for being repetitive, but past boards and this board has made significant investments in Kingsport. The library, Main Street, Brickyard, IMAX, KEDB has worked diligently on that. So there are so many projects that Kingsport is heavily investing in through a lot of hard work. And so this project at the Duffer Taylor Warehouse is another example of that. So I think with all of this work, and Alderman Baker's correct, there's nothing we can do that makes zero risk and everything is absolute certain. But I think with smart folks like KEDB that's on the board and the hard work of everybody that's on this BMA, I think made a good decision. So thank you.
I have all things Christmas. I went to a downtown Kingsport Association meeting this morning, and our Christmas season in downtown Kingsport kicks off on this Saturday with the Santa train arriving. Santa arrived downtown at the Santa's Depot at Centennial 3-ish, and that kind of starts at the snowball rolling of all the festivities. Small Business Saturday will be the next Saturday. And the Saturday after that will be the Santa Parade downtown and the Christmas tree lighting and all that. So there's so much going on for the next 5 or 6 weeks in downtown. Also, Lamplight Theater. If you haven't been, I keep pushing Lamplight. Last year in 24, there were 75,000 people attended the shows at Lamplight. So if you aren't one of those 75,000, you're really missing a jewel in our downtown. They have the Yuletide show that this is the last weekend of the Yuletide show, and then they go right back the first weekend. The weekend after Thanksgiving is the Candy Maker's Dream. So there's 2 Christmas shows in the next few weeks. So be sure to attend one or both of those. Also, if you haven't decorated your house yet for Christmas, they have the Festival of Trees at Meadowview. They have decorated trees that are gorgeous, and you can bid online, and they shrink wrap them, and you take them to your house and open them up, and you have your Christmas tree already decorated. And it's a silent auction, and it goes to, the donations go to Lamplight Theater. And the trees are absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't been to Meadowview, go there and look at the trees and bid on, there's trees and wreaths and all kinds of Christmas decor there. So also, our Christmas in Kingsport t-shirts are in. They're at Hometown Cottage. So if you would like a Christmas in Kingsport t-shirt or sweatshirt, you can go to Hometown Cottage. They're there to purchase at Hometown Cottage. Just look at the DKA website or the This Is Kingsport website and see all the things that are happening. So if you are bored, it's your own fault, because there's something almost every single night. The trees arrived this Friday. I just got a call during the meeting from Christmas Tree Man up in Newland, so I need to see what his deal is. But the trees will arrive this Friday, and they'll be set up the first of next week and ready to decorate do the Thanksgiving holidays. I think Decoration Day is actually the 2nd of December. That's when the TV will be down there looking, filming. So be sure your tree is decorated, and by the next meeting, we can look out through the windows and look at all the decorated trees. That's it. I'm through.
Thank you. Alderman George.
I think the chamber holiday breakfast is this Friday. Just a reminder for everybody. I think it starts at 8:30, even though breakfast is earlier, but that's when they start them. And I think Betsy covered Christmas. So I'm just going to say, wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and as a city, how blessed we are for all the things that we've got going forward. And I feel very blessed to be serving on this board and to living in Kingsport. So I hope everybody enjoys their family and enjoys Thanksgiving.
Alderman Baker.
I'll echo the sentiments about KEDB. I'll say publicly to Craig and Joel, thank you for sitting with me and answering questions. And, when you look at public-private partnerships that are working in cities that are successful, I think you've got to be able to embrace those. And we have to look at that to move the needle upward. So I'm excited somebody's coming to Kingsport to invest. I think that's great. I had the distinct pleasure to ride with 3 city employees recently, police, fire, and I was on a trash route. And, when you get out in operations and you talk to employees and you hear the passion, you hear the professionalism, the desire to want to serve, it gets lost sometimes in these meetings. Employees we've got at the city, the ones I've interacted with, are top-notch in quality, and walked away feeling really good that we've got folks that's protecting us and serving us, and even on the garbage route. I mean, the thing that warmed my heart, 7 o'clock in the morning, we'd drive by a house, a door would open, a mom would be there with her child in the pajamas, kid would wave, truck driver would blow the horn. It was just a good interaction, a good experience, and I want to tell the chiefs I appreciate letting me do that, and Ryan with Public Works, thanks for letting me ride with Joe in the garbage truck. I rode like this the entire time, but it was good. It was a good experience. Yeah. That's all I've got, Mayor.
Thank you. Alderman Phillips.
Just want to say we had, since nobody's mentioned it, I'll mention it. We had a really good presentation last night on paving. That always moves the needle with the public, but just encourage you to go to pavekingsport.com and see an update and see what's going on with the worst first roads and the schedule, and you can actually look and see, what your area rates in and when we're going to be paving in your area or what area that you think needs it when it's on the schedule for. So it was a good presentation, and other than that, I will just say I got my Christmas lights up today. I got a little girl that's waiting for me to get home to show her how they work. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Vice Mayor.
I think everybody's already kind of just taken care of what I was going to say. It is 37 days, so 37 days of Christmas. And I seen Santa downtown today doing a promo for DKA, so stay tuned to that. It'll be done very professionally. Just happy Thanksgiving to everyone. So everybody hope they have a good Thanksgiving with their families.
Thank you. I want to say congratulations to DB Band for coming in at their Indianapolis performance. Also for DB's football team for having a good season. This Thursday, we all are invited to the United Way celebration. They're having another successful year at 11:30 at Farmers Market. Gratefulness is the theme that they have this year, and the goal is $2.5 million. They're not quite there yet, but they're getting striking distance. So there's time to make a donation if you have not done that. And if you have made a donation, it's time to do a second donation. So there's time. And this coming Friday at 1:30 in Bays Mountain, the Fox Den ribbon cutting will take place, and we invite all to come out and take part in that. And I, too, want to say thank you to the Economic Development team for a fantastic job, and give Elaine Bodenweiser a good thank you for the work she has done there as well. And happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. Thank you. This meeting's adjourned.
Good job, Mayor.
Careful now. We're still on camera.